Hi guys, my name is Miss McGee. Welcome to Algebra 2. I'm excited to have you and can't wait for us to get started and get to know you. So I want to go over a few keys to success in this class. So throughout this presentation, make sure you follow along carefully. Take notes if you need to. Write them down on a piece of paper, take a screenshot. Whatever you do, just make sure you're keeping up with what's going on. If you have any questions, feel free to message me and I'll be happy to answer those. So a little bit about myself. Again, my name is Miss McGee. I got some pictures of my family here. I have two children. My daughter is Kenzie. She's fixing to turn 11, and my son Parker is fixing to turn 8. And then, of course, my husband. So there's a picture of my son in his new hat with the beard on it, and my daughter when she was inducted into Beta Club this past fall. And we have a Great Dane named Moose, who is also one of our children for sure. So we love him. He's pretty big. As far as my career and education, I got a Bachelor of Science degree in math from Francis Marion. Then received my master's in education from University of South Carolina. Go Gamecocks. And I have been teaching, this is my 11th year teaching now. Some things that interest me, of course, spending time with my family. And you can see a picture here. We go appling every year. So that's what you see there, is us in the mountains picking apples. We love to fish and camp. There's one of our catfishing trips that we went on and all the catfish we brought back. We love Gamecocks, football, baseball, anything really, softball. We love all Gamecock sports. I do like to read when I have spare time. I crochet. That's one of my latest projects that I did for my mother-in-law. It's got little dragonflies in it. And I cook a lot. I like to cook. So that's a little bit about me. But now I want to take you through some keys that are going to help you be successful as you complete the course and work your way through. So the first thing you want to make sure you do when you get into your lesson is there'll be a link for a live recording. You want to make sure that you watch that. Okay, and if you look, I've got an example here. You see where it says watch this live lesson recording first. So you click the first, you want to click that and make sure you watch that entire video because that's going to introduce you to the concepts that are coming. Take any notes or pictures, again, as you make your way through the recording. If you feel the need to pause or rewind to hear something again, make sure you do that. There's no limit on how many times you can watch the video if you need to go back and watch again or hear something for a second time. There'll also be times in the video when it'll say, hey, take a minute, pause, try to do this on your own, and then come back. Make sure you do that because that's really going to help you be successful throughout the course. And again, like I said, it may ask you to complete a certain problem or do something and then walk you through the solution. If you're asked to pause it and work through, you really want to pause, try to work through on your own rather than just playing through the solution because that's how we learn as we practice. So step 2 to your success is studying the lesson content by taking notes, and you may even want to print the lesson out so that you can highlight or take notes. If you don't print it out, make sure you keep the pages on your desktop so that you can highlight and things like that. But whatever helps you the most as you work your way through there to keep up because you'll want to have this to go back and reference and use. Again, you can highlight any important parts, but you also want to pay close attention to any of the parts that are highlighted or bolded for you because that, of course, places emphasis on certain things and says, you know, hey, you really need to kind of watch out for this. So I've got an example here, and I've pointed out a few. Obviously, the definition there is important, and that's bolded. You'll want to pay attention. There's several things that are highlighted, bold font. Just make sure you're paying careful attention to those things because that means that they are of great importance. All right, step 3 for your success in this course is to pay close attention to the examples that are given to you. The live recording, of course, explains things, but then the examples walk you through step by step how the problem should be solved. These should serve as models for you for the assignment problems that you're going to submit later on at the end of the lesson. So make sure you look through that. Your work, when you submit your work to me, it should follow and be very similar to the work listed on the examples. It's very important that you understand that you must show all your work to receive credit. In math, that's key in any math class you're in. Justification and your work to show how you arrived at your answers only are not sufficient. So if you're worried about how much work should I show, what do I need to do, go back and look at those examples, because again, those serve as models as to how much work and what you need to show in order to receive credit for the problem. Step 4, make sure sometimes when you submit, I will give you a video or some other things to help you further your understanding. Make sure you watch all those that are provided in the feedback, because that is based on areas that you may be weak or you need some more practice on, or things that I don't think you have a good grasp on. So make sure that you read through any further explanations and that you also watch any videos that are provided to you, and it will really help you for your revisions. Be careful. A couple of things to caution you about as you make your way through these things. It does take time. Math can get tedious at times, so make sure you take your time as you work your way through this. If you rush through a lesson thinking that it's going to speed things up, it's actually going to slow you down, because you will have to submit again, and then it wastes one of your 4 submissions, because remember, you only get 4 submissions per lesson. So you don't want to waste those. You want to take your time and try to get it as accurate as possible upon your first submission. The other thing, and I know I've said it before, but it stands to be said again, is watch all the live videos, okay? Don't try to save time by skipping over those, because again, you think you're saving time, but at the end of the day, you're really wasting more time because you're not understanding the way you should and could if you watched the videos. And then again, you've wasted a submission because you didn't take the time to watch that video to start with. So make sure you're using all those resources they're provided for you. Feedback. So I mentioned feedback earlier. Please read through all of the feedback given to you very carefully. And I have FB in parentheses here, so you remember as we go through, if you ever see me reference FB, I'm talking about feedback. Use that feedback to revise your work. I give it to you for a reason. I want you to use that and to help better your work and kind of guide you in the right direction. So make sure you're reading carefully. And if you do apply that, then you're actually, I know it seems like it takes longer to go back and read through feedback and revise your work, but you'll actually be moving faster through the lesson by doing that. Remember that revisions on lessons with scores of 9 or less are opportunities to improve your score. So you can score higher. If you submit work and you score an 8, then you can resubmit for up to a 9. So that could always improve your score there. All right, so what happens if you've watched all the videos, you've worked through all the examples, you've read through all my feedback, and you just still can't get it and you need more help? And that can happen sometimes. And if it does, and you feel like you need one-on-one assistance, all you have to do is schedule a time to meet with me under Book Me. So if you look, I've got an example here. You'll click the jump to date, choose a date that best suits you, and let's set up an appointment in my office. If you see a time, if you have a time that you know will work for you or none of my times work, all you have to do is message me. And I'm more than willing to work with you on a time where we can both get together if none of the provided times work. So again, all you got to do is message me. teacher message me, and we'll get that set up for you. Graphing calculator. You really, really, really need a graphing calculator. They are crucial at this point in math, in your math career. You can find access to an online calculator. Buying one or borrowing one so that you actually have one in your hand is really your best option. It allows you to say formulas and to really check your work and get in there, and it's a lot easier to work with if you have one on your own. So I do advise that you get a physical one. Now, if you, for whatever reason, cannot get that calculator, you can download it, and I've got some instructions here to download the emulator. It is a 90-day trial, so if you have other math classes or something you need to take, you only get it for 90 days. But there is a link here if you want to pause the video and write this link down. I'll also have it on my welcome page so that you can access that. But if you want to go and download that, you should just be able to follow the instructions whenever you get there. So your success in this course. Don't worry about things that have happened in the past. A lot of people say, well, I'm just not good in math, and that's just not true. That there's no truth in that. We can all be successful in math. So despite any prior math experiences that you've had, you can and will be successful in this course if you try. It does take hard work, and it takes you trying and putting forth the effort, but it can be done. And I'm here to help you with that should you need any. The quicker you let me know, if you get stumped or you're just not understanding or you have a problem and you need to talk to me, you need to message me. Don't wait until you're 3 lessons behind to ask. We want to keep a good handle on it so that you can move forward successfully, because math does build on itself. So we want to make sure that you understand everything as you go. Your attendance, as I'm sure you're familiar with the policies, how long do you need to work? Sometimes math can be a little bit different as far as how long it takes you to complete something. At least 1 hour per day, 5 days a week is required in order to receive attendance credit. And that's the same in all the courses. So what may happen is there may come lessons that you want to kind of break up a little bit. And you can do this, but remember, you can only submit 4 times per lesson. So that includes your partial post also. So make sure that if you're going to break it up, you realize that you only have 4 submissions per lesson when you do that. Okay. A typical lesson schedule as you move through Algebra 2, you'll watch the live lesson first, which we did talk about. That could be around 15 minutes or less. Then you'll want to study the lesson content, and this is what I was talking about when I said to print it out or put a copy on your desktop. So you want to take notes on that, look through the examples, practice through some of the examples, and make sure that you understand what it is, because you remember those examples are models for you to use as you work through your problems. Which again is what I just said. So pay very close attention to those and look at it, work through it, and then check your work as compared to the work that's provided. And then, of course, if there are any additional videos that are provided, you want to make sure you click those links and watch those videos, because everything provided is to help you better understand the material. Submitting a lesson. So some lessons obviously take longer than others. You can submit the first few problems after you complete the previous steps, the ones we just talked about where we went through the live recording and took notes. If you need to just complete the first few problems and submit as a partial post just to show me that you did work for at least an hour, you can do that. But remember, you can only do it one time per lesson and only as the first submission. So you can't submit the lesson and then go back and submit another partial or submit a partial post. And it does count as your submission there. When you submit revisions, make sure you revise based on the feedback that I provided for you and the rest of the problems for your second submission. Okay, if you do submit that way. So believe in yourself. You can do it. I know you can. You can be successful if you follow the instructions that I've given you and you work hard to get it done. I am here to help you anytime you need. Teacher, message me your questions rather than submitting them. If you submit, remember you only get 4 submissions, so then you've used one of your submissions in asking a question when you can just teacher message me and I'll respond that way. Teacher messages do not use your submissions. So you'll want to make sure that you send me your questions that way. So I hope this helps you. I hope you're excited. I'm excited to get started, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.